So, what do you like about Lookout Rewards Plus checking?
Pays a high rate of interest on the money in our account. The identity theft protection provides peace of mind. There's the mobile phone protection.
Yeah?
Including accidental damage.
Valley Office Systems, your local provider for all things office. Copiers, printers, office furniture, and document management. Proudly serving Idaho since 1974. Valley Office Systems.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
We're Valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
All right, I put this on one check. Is that okay? Draw?
That was fast and secure. It's Mobile Wallet from Lookout Credit Union.
Your home team, when local matters. Valley Office Systems, your local provider for all things office. Copiers, printers, office furniture, and document management. Proudly serving Idaho since 1974. Valley Office Systems.
We're Valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
A hit in the morning, another between class, after school, and more before bed. Vaping sucks you in quick. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems everyone's talking about. That's why thousands of teens are ready to take back their life their own way with My Life, My Quit. When you sign up with us, you'll get a free and simple quit plan that makes it easier to stop vaping. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
At all our local Teton dealerships, we're committed to our no problem philosophy.
No problem means we'll find it, not we don't have it.
No problem means the same fair prices that we've always offered on our new vehicles.
Because when you shop with us, it's always no problem to buy and service your vehicles.
I love Lookout's campus branch. The vibe and the service. But with digital banking, it all comes to me. My customizable dashboard provides all my information. Accounts, cards.
Anything else?
I'm good. Bill pay, even my credit score. Gotta go. I mean, you gotta go download this app and upload convenience today.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Century High School. Another presentation of Gate City Game Night here on IdahoSports.com GameStream production. Gate City Game Night presented by Lookout Credit Union as well as Valley Office Systems. Huge thanks to them and being our sponsors. We want to thank our major partners as well. Project Filter, Valley-Wide Cooperative, the Idaho Transportation Department, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, Next Steps Idaho, and your local Toyota dealers. And a huge thanks to all of our local sponsors for Gate City Game Night as well. Lauren Jensen alongside Dallin Fryer here tonight for this matchup of the Preston Indians coming up here to visit the Century Diamondbacks on senior night, as we've got the seniors being recognized out on the field tonight. And Dallin, could be a really good game. The only downside to it, you've got a 1-5 Preston going up against an 0-6 Century team. Both teams, Preston playoff hopes, they're bleak, but they're there. Century kind of on the outside looking in right now. A few games left in the season, but it doesn't look good for either of these squads at this point in the season. As I mentioned, Preston 1-5. Their one win coming against Jerome, and Jerome, kind of one of those teams that's at the bottom of their conference as well over in District 4, and then Century at the bottom of their conference here in the 5th District at 0-6, as I mentioned. So not a lot to look forward to here, but these two teams trying to get a W here tonight.
Well, and one positive that each team can look at right now is that this is the first game of conference. And honestly, if you're looking from both sides record-wise and even the score-wise of each of their games, it's probably nice for both of them that they have a tune-up before they play Pocatello. Because Pocatello, their record doesn't really speak much either, but they've had a little bit more success this season and been competing in games a little bit more than Century and Preston have. And so this is a great opportunity for both of them to start 1-0 in the conference, and that can make a difference, especially going against a competitive Pocatello team going in the next few weeks. And, both teams have kind of struggled on offense throughout the year. The Indians have scored a little bit more than the Diamondbacks, but both teams have had a lot of lopsided losses throughout the last few games, and especially at home. The Diamondbacks haven't scored at home for a little while, and I'm sure that's something they're itching to do against a defense of Preston that gives up a lot of points.
Yeah, you take a look at we'll talk first about the visiting Preston Indians. Opening loss 28-0. They lost 31-21. They lost 42-14 to Star Valley. They beat Jerome 44-8. A loss to Burley that was more of a basketball score, 82-44. Madison thumped them last week 56-0, and that one kind of stood out to me. Madison's a good football team. I just was surprised at the lopsidedness of that one. But like you said, Century, they haven't fared any better. They've lost every game. They have struggled offensively as well. You mentioned Preston's has scored, in a few games. They've put up some points, putting up 44 against Burley. Granted, they gave up 82, but that's the question I have here tonight is who can put points on the board, because especially Century has struggled in that department.
And Century, the two games we've done here against Highland and Minico, they've had moments where they've had encouraging drives, and then they just shoot themselves in the foot every single time. And the Indians have given up a lot of big plays throughout the season so far. And so Century, I wouldn't be surprised to see quarterback Satter take a shot early on in the game and see what they can do. Obviously, they like to start on the ground. The Indians like to go through the air as much as possible. The Indians like to play fast. Century kind of mixes it up. Sometimes goes fast, sometimes slow. But it could end up being a surprising shootout. Like, you never know with the way that both these defenses have been this year. You never know if the offenses can get going, and it could be a really entertaining game, or it could be a very low-scoring affair where, whoever can get to 10 first wins. It could go either way.
Yeah, just real quick, new head coaches for both of these squads, which can figure into, just trying to get their stuff implemented with their team, their offense, their defense. But new coaches for both of these squads. Craig Cunningham is in his first year at Preston, and then Ryan Fleshman, his first year here at Century. Cunningham took over in Preston for Eric Thorson, and then Fleshman took over after Logan Horrocks. He was here for 1 year, and then he was gone, and then Fleshman's taken over here. So, that name for Century, that's a name that, had some success here. And so I think they're hoping to turn things around, but it hasn't come to fruition this season, but they've got things to build on. We talked about difficulty coming points for these teams. The Diamondbacks, they come into this game the second lowest scoring team in the 4A. They're averaging only 8.3 points per game. So keep that in mind as we get going here at Century High School. This is Gate City Game Night. We're going to step away as we honor our nation with our national anthem. This is IdahoSports.com. We'll be right back. Welcome back here to Century High School on Gate City Game Night. Gate City Game Night presented by Lookout Credit Union, also presented in part by Valley Office Systems and Portneuf Medical Center. Huge thanks to them letting us get this game to you. The hometown Diamondbacks here on senior night looking to get their first win of the season against the Preston Indians. Preston once again coming in at 1-5 on the season. Century 0-6. And so both these teams trying to improve their records in this ball game. The offenses are the question, and that has been the struggle, especially for Century in these games. We're going to talk a little bit too as we approach really playoffs in the next 3 weeks, kind of wrapping up the end of the regular season over the next couple of weeks, and there's some big games going on tonight across the state. We've got several of them on IdahoSports.com, so check out the GameStreams if there's something else you want to check on. And then, with playoffs upcoming, we're going to take a look at halftime at kind of the playoff bubble, if you will, and who's in, who's slated to be in, the top 8 that are kind of a lock, the top 8 that are probably the at-large, and then those teams that are sitting on the bubble. If you want to take a look at all the classifications, just go to IdahoSports.com. Brandon Bainey's got a nice article on there, explains kind of what's upcoming. And there's still a lot of movement that could be made amongst all the classifications, but even in the 4A, because we are just getting into conference play, especially here in Southeast Idaho. So, about ready for the kickoff here. The Diamondbacks, I believe they won the toss and deferred to the second half, so they'll be kicking off to the Preston Indians. And here we go, we're underway. That ball going to the far sideline, takes a nice hop, and picked up on the run by the return man. And then dropped at about the 18-yard line on the return. That was Mason Blad, senior for the Indians. So the Indians will come out on offense first. Their quarterback, Owen Judd, last week he went 18 for 36 in that game against Madison for 132 yards. And Preston just had, you talked about them going through the air a lot. They only had 57 rushing yards last week. So we'll expect to see this ball thrown here early. And as I say that, they hand it off on a big hole up the middle, carried out across the 30 to the 33 for a first down for Preston.
And they like to play fast, so you'll see a lot of no-huddle offense, quick play calls, and getting right back up to the line of scrimmage.
Judd under center this time. Hands off straight behind him, and talk about their throwing game, and they hand off the first 2 plays of the game. Just a short 3 yards on that play, so 2nd and 7 upcoming. I believe that's Zollinger, that was Tegan Zollinger on the carry, I believe. Trying to get a number out there. And this time hitting the backfield and going to be dropped at the original line of, or at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 7 upcoming.
I believe that's number 16,
You're
Winder.
Right. Yep, it is. It's Carson Winder. You're correct.
And Winder has had to take the role of quarterback a couple times throughout the season as Judd has been battling some injuries. And so he definitely has experience with his offense, and they'll find ways to get him involved.
So 3rd and we'll say 6, actually. As Judd rolls out, the lefty slings it for a first down. It's caught and then dropped just shy of midfield. The reception, Cade Lords on the reception, and it's 1st and 10 once again for the Indians out at the 49-yard line.
And Judd loves rolling left. Obviously, as a left-handed quarterback, they like to have him moving to his left as much as possible. Lords has been his favorite target throughout the season, and something the Diamondbacks will have to key on if they want to win this ballgame.
So from the gun, handoff goes again to Winder. Winder up the middle, dragging the tackler. That's number 35 on the tackle, Caden Scott. And he picks up 5 still, though, after the carry. So all of our speak of their throwing game, and they've come out here and trying to establish the run against this Century defense. In the gun is Judd again. Handoff goes to Winder. Winder going to pick up another couple yards as the pile barrels forward. Phelan and Scott on the stop.
And the Indians must have seen something on film that led them to give the ball to Winder so much here at the beginning of the game. They've done that a couple times throughout the season, but it's mostly been pass early.
9:21 left here in the first quarter. Winder didn't even move. It was just a QB sneak, I believe, and they picked up the first down. Yeah, that was Owen Judd taking it on the sneak. 1st and 10, right near the 40-yard line. Thanks for joining us here on IdahoSports.com for Gate City Game Night. Winder with the carry. Winder breaking into the secondary, still on his feet, down to the 35-yard line. So Winder got hit in the backfield and still able to pick up 5 yards. As Connor Allenback with the tackle for the Diamondbacks. Man in motion. And it goes to him on that fly sweep, trying to get to the outside. Caught in the backfield and knocked out of bounds for no gain, maybe a loss actually on the play. Ball carrier was Davin Inglett.
Inglett, another one of the Indians' top targets in the passing game. Use him a little bit in the running game. He's got some speed, but the Diamondbacks had that sniffed out, and big 3rd down for both sides right here.
The Diamondbacks had one guy that wasn't accounted for, and he was the one who came up and made the hit in the backfield to stop Inglett. That's Inglett again on the catch, but he's going nowhere. Hit at the line of scrimmage. Now it's 4th and 5. And it kind of in one of those spots where you might go for it. We'll see what Preston decides to do. At the just shy of the right at the 35-yard line, actually.
I'd imagine a hard count will come here, trying to draw the Diamondbacks off sides and then eventually going forward with the play, but we'll have to see what happens.
And they do get him to jump. Oh, false start at number 10 for Preston, took off early. Lords. They got Century to jump, but Lords took off for some reason. He had to have known that was the idea. There was the hard count.
It's not as common that you see those receivers jump off on those hard counts, and the linemen did their job. Just unfortunate for the Indians there.
4th and 10. This time rolling right. And off the back foot, it's caught. I think he's going to be short of the first down, though, just by about a yard. He had to come back a little bit for it. The reception was Caden Larson, but a turnover on downs as Century holds. They'll take over 1st and 10 with 6:56 left here in the first.
Very encouraging for the Diamondback defense. They haven't been able to make many stops lately, and to do that on the first drive when they get back in their own territory, that is a great way to start the game.
Make the memories made tonight last a lifetime by owning the digital game file of this game for just $9.95. Just click the button in the top right to order. Pitch out to the ball carrier. That's number 3, Bentley Gunter. Gunter down the sideline, finally knocked out of bounds, but a big pickup all the way down to the 43-yard line. So a good start on the offensive side for the Diamondbacks, as it's pink flag night, looks like, here for the officials, as they've got the pink flags out for the markers, the pink towels on some of the, and socks on some of the players down here. First and 10, just a straight keep this time and nowhere really to go that time. That was kind of a wildcat scenario. It was hiked directly to Caden Horton, and Horton gets back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10 from there.
And not something I'd seen from the Diamondbacks yet this year, but something to be creative with, especially as you get more in short distance downs to go and by the goal line. It's something to keep in mind now.
Back in the gun is Satter. Satter, handoff, and drugged down from behind after a short gain. God, and that hurts. And you see the running back went down. He got caught from behind and just dropped him. Ball carrier's number, I think it's 34, Corbin Johnson. And Johnson hurt. It's one of those scenarios, he kind of got wrapped up from behind, maybe banged his knees together as he went down.
You have to hope nothing pulled out there. It was just a tough contact to the ground. Like you're saying there, maybe knee-to-knee contact.
Now, it's one thing to get hit from the front when you know it's coming, and it's another thing to all of a sudden your feet can't move anymore from behind, and that's exactly what happened. He went down hard. Hopefully he's all right. I want to thank Valley Office Systems and Rico. They're your local hometown office solutions team, delivering the level of service that you expect because they're a service company above all else. Valley Office Systems and Rico want to wish all the Gate City teams best of luck tonight. And again, want to thank our Gate City Game Night sponsors, presented by Lookout Credit Union and in part by Valley Office Systems and Portneuf Medical Center. Huge thanks to all of them. Of course, all of our major advertising partners as well: Project Filter, Valleywide Cooperative, the Idaho Transportation Department, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, Next Steps Idaho, and your local Toyota dealers. Senior night once again here at Century High School, and Johnson is up, so that's a good sign for the Diamondbacks. We'll see how he is coming off the field. Looks like he's going to have a little assistance as he hobbles off. You know, it could even be a scenario with a sprained ankle. He does have that one ankle taped up, and when you get your feet wrapped up like that, it could have easily re-injured something that he's been dealing with over the season.
You have to hope that he's okay. He's a big part of the Diamondback offense, but also, you know, as we near the end of the season, you never want to see injuries.
So the coaching staff will get him looked at, and it'll be 3rd and 8 now for the Diamondbacks. In to replace him, number 33, Back there is Ethan Wilson, a junior running back. Satter in the gun. Excuse me, that is Horton that they split out. Down wide open down the field. It's caught and going to be drugged down just short of the goal line. Breaking into the secondary wide open. And it's 1st and goal for the Diamondbacks. I think that was number 18 on the reception, Ashton Jenkins, the big tight end.
Great play call there. He just kind of snuck out there, and the Diamondbacks are in the red zone. We haven't said that much this year, but
No.
they're in the red zone and ready to strike.
And early in the game as well, is coming on late in is Blake Phelan in the running back position, I believe. And we're going to have a false start, I think. Satter took it in, but no offsides against the defense. So defense lined up, I'm assuming, in the neutral zone or over the ball. And at 4:39, we'll go half the distance. So now it's still 1st and goal from the 1 instead of the 2. Satter in the gun. See if they stick with the straight keep. They do. Satter finds a hole. Touchdown, Century. The Diamondbacks take an early lead, 6-0, with just over 4 minutes left here in the first quarter.
And a great play design, great blocking by the big dogs up front. Satter went in untouched, and that's not easy to do around the goal line. Great play.
So now more whistles. Not sure what the problem is.
Could be maybe a mouthpiece not in there or something.
And they'll wait for the PAT. And now more flags. Offsides again or encroachment again on the defense. Now a little discussion.
Looks like the kicker does not want the ball brought forward. Just they don't have to reset again. It just declined.
Yeah, they do decline it. He's happy to kick from where he is at. This is where they practice from, so. Oh, somehow he got that off.
I do not know how Owen Judd did not hit that ball. That was one of the more interesting PATs I've ever seen.
It's almost like Judd came so quickly that he overran the kicker. He was by it before the ball actually got kicked.
And you saw him put his hands on his head like, what did I just do?
Yeah, he almost needed to just stop and stand in the way.
Guess he didn't want a ball directly to the stomach. Maybe?
Yeah, maybe. So 7-0, Century up as they drive down after getting a defensive stop. A big play, about a 40-yard pass play, put them at 1st and goal, and they score 2 plays later on a keeper from David Satter. 5'10" quarterback for a senior quarterback for the Diamondbacks.
And I mentioned earlier that the Indians are susceptible to giving up a lot of big plays. Almost all the touchdowns they've given up this year have been big plays. And so we saw it there. Century, they found a hole. I think there was a 25-yard run and then a 40-yard pass, and that'll do it.
So a short kick picked up, and then the return man tripped up. Going to have decent field position out to about the 31, 32-yard line. Well, if you didn't get your Gridiron game picks in this week, it's too late. They closed at 7. But there's always next week. But you can compete every week against other high school sports fans and us here at IdahoSports.com, the so-called experts. It's free. You can win weekly prizes and the chance to be crowned the regular season's pick champion. It's okay if you start now because the weekly winners get $25. And if you're the regular season champion, you get $100 plus a $250 donation to your favorite team, high school team, in your name. Best of all, it's free to play. So.
Did I see you in the top 10 last week?
Not last week.
Week before?
I got in the top 15 2 weeks ago. I hit the top 20 last week, but I'm afraid of this week. That's as high as I've ever been in the rankings. So
it's not easy. I mean, especially the people that work with us that do all the previews, they know all the inside out information, and then there's some people just around the state that definitely know their high school football in Idaho, and some names that I recognize from like my high school days, and I'm like, oh, okay, so they're still keeping tabs on Idaho football. I like it.
A big third down play here once again for the Indians. 3rd and 7. Back to pass and rolling. Looking downfield. Now back across the field. It's caught. Big hit, but he holds on. Nice catch by Cade Lords and a first down out near midfield for the Indians. "7-0 Century." And now whistles blowing. Looks like we have another injured Diamondback player over here near their sideline. Didn't see what happened, as it looks like it was well behind the play down here. 3:03 left here in the first quarter. Diamondbacks looking for their first win of the season, as it has been a rough start for them. The Diamondbacks, of course, 0-6 overall. All these teams, Pocatello, Preston, Century, that's the 4A Southeast Idaho Conference. Pocatello has a 2-4 conference or overall record, excuse me. Preston 1-5 and Century 0-6. They kick off conference play next week. Preston, or excuse me, I guess technically tonight. Pocatello kicks off next week in conference play. That ball caught and then got away from the first man and carries the tackler out across the 35. 1st and 10 for the Indians. You know, for what it's worth, whoever wins this game tonight will be leading the conference standings for at least a week. So,
and that, honestly, that can play some mind games, like where there's only essentially 2 conference games for everybody. That one win can be huge.
Back to pass. Now being flushed. Rolling right and on the run. And makes the guy miss and then gets popped at the 30 out of bounds. Flag comes in. I think you might have a late hit. There was a Diamondback that came in late and kind of piled on right at the end. That might tack on 15. As it's a sideline warning? No. Oh, that must be unsportsmanlike conduct. For a second, it looked like he did a sideline warning, but
yeah, it had to be.
Yeah, it is a personal foul, unsportsmanlike, or a late hit.
And when you get the opposing team on the other sideline, it seems like those types of plays happen more often. Like you almost never see a late hit on their own sideline. You know, you're trying to make a big play to intimidate the other team, and sometimes you get a little reckless.
So now it's 1st and 10 inside the 15 with Preston inside the red zone for the first time. Handoff, and now changing directions, looking for a hole, spinning off a tackler, but a very short gain on the carry from Winder. Maybe a half yard. We'll say 2nd and 10 still, as they're just across the 15.
Winder doesn't really go down by first contact. If he can just get a little hole from the Preston line, then we might see a big play by him eventually as the game goes on.
I thought he might try to pop it more out to the outside, but he saw a little bit of a seam and tried to cut back inside.
Also something he hasn't done yet this game. Everything has been up the middle, and he's a power runner for sure.
rolling out. Now throwing to the corner, open, touchdown Preston. Cade Lords with a 15-yard touchdown reception, and it's now 7-6, Century on top. A nice route run there by Lords. As he faked inside and then beat his man to that back corner of the end zone. A nicely thrown ball from Owen Judd. And with the PAT, if it's good, we'll be all tied up with 1:24 left here in the first. That's Parker Cromwell on for the kick. Kick is up and good. So we're all tied up here with 1:24 left on a 15-yard touchdown pass from Owen Judd to Cade Lords. On another great night here at Century High School. A great backdrop with the mountains right here in front of us. The moon coming up over the top of them, and almost a full moon, not quite. And a great clear night as it's kind of warmed up again. We've had a couple weeks where it's kind of got cold and windy this time of night, and it's kind of warmed up. It was almost 80 degrees here again today.
I really don't understand Idaho weather. I've lived here for my whole life, and I'll never understand why it can be this in October. But it is, and I'm not going to complain, but I can still golf once in a while, so no complaints from me.
And in 2 weeks, we'll have 6 inches of snow.
And then the day after that, it will be 70 again.
It's fall time. Took a little drive north this morning. Everybody trying to get their hay put up for the last of the season, and just a beautiful day today. And it looks like for the next week at least we get to enjoy the nice weather. So Preston answers that drive with their own 15-yard touchdown pass from Judd to Lords. And here comes the kick from the Indians, angling it to the corner and in through the end zone for a touchback. So nice kick. That'll bring the Diamondbacks out to the 20. 1st and 10 for them with 1:24 here. Remember, our army of Idaho Sports action photographers are covering games all over the state. We've revamped our galleries to make it even easier to find and order your favorite action shots. Just go to IdahoSports.com and click the Action Photos link in the menu. And if you're looking for another great podcast to listen to, it's the always entertaining and occasionally controversial, the IdahoSports.com Prepcasts. They cover every inch of Idaho. They're hosted by Brandon Baney, and then each Prepcast features one of our resident experts from around the state talking about what's going on in your part of the state. False start called on the Diamondbacks, or that'll back them up 5 yards to the 15. Just go to IdahoSports.com, click Prepcasts in the menu to get caught up on what you've been missing. And there's always good stuff in those Prepcasts. So whether you're up north, over in the Treasure Valley, the Magic Valley, or here in southeast Idaho, we've got something for everybody. And a special one, the 8-man. If you're an 8-man fan, you want to know what's going on in the smaller ranks, check that out as well with Will Henneke. Now rolling in trouble, and he goes down, throws it. Ooh, as that goes incomplete. I thought it might be picked off, but they called him down.
A dangerous play by Satter there, and that's where the high school rule that you can't just throw the ball out of bounds really comes into play, because Satter had nowhere to throw and nowhere to run, and eventually you just have to take a sack or take a shot, and he kind of took both there.
Yeah, it's lucky that the whistle got blown first of all, and then it wasn't intercepted. So Satter now in 2nd and very long, handoff over that left side. Ball carrier stood up and going to be dropped at about the 12, maybe 13-yard line. So it's going to be 3rd and about 16 upcoming with 35 seconds left here in the first.
Lost possession. The Diamondbacks had a big throw. We'll see if they can make up the big yardage here on 3rd down.
And it is 3rd and long. Just a little pitch out. He's got one blocker trying to cut up field, and he is. He's getting away. 1st down and more down the sideline. Finally dragged down from behind. A shoestring tackle by number 57 for the Indians. I'm going to say that's, I think, Parker Bodley. He's listed as 59, but so is Trevin Trumbley. So
that was the exact same play that they ran on their first play of the game, and about the same amount of yards gained as well. Definitely something that the Indians will have to adjust to, and the Diamondbacks might want to come back to again.
So at the end of the first quarter, it's 7-7 as we switch ends. Century will take over 1st and 10 after a nice pickup all the way out to the 42-yard line. And we'll get the punt, pass, and kick fundraiser here at halftime, put on by IdahoSports.com. It's a 100% fundraiser that all goes to Century High School. Haven't seen any, as far as I know, nobody's hit the field goal yet. That's been the problem, is they can get the ball downfield, but nobody's been able to put the field goal through. So we'll see. You get $200 if you knock it through.
I could use $200. Something, but I'll tell you what, kicking a field goal, if you haven't had any experience with it, kicking a football is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, I could get a soccer ball off the ground through, a nice round ball, but yeah, the football, there's definitely an art to that, and I'd have to practice a little bit.
And I mean, the Diamondback fans have seen this a couple times. Maybe we have a couple people that have been practicing a little bit, hoping their name gets called.
Handoff up the middle, maybe a yard out to the 43. It'll be 2nd and 9 upcoming. Yeah, that might be something PE-wise. A couple students go to the PE teacher and say, "Hey, we're gonna do this here in a couple weeks. Just let us kick some field goals. We'll run some laps, then we'll kick some field goals. How about that?"
Well, I'll tell you this, you'll definitely feel it by the end of it if you're kicking enough of them.
And jumping off sides are the Indians. They put a man in motion, and it drew the defense off. 5-yard penalty, so it'll be 2nd and about 4 now. Much more manageable as they're out to the 47-yard line.
And we spoke about both teams' records, but another thing that both teams have struggled with this year is penalties. And we've seen one false start from Century. We've seen, I think, 3 offsides now by Preston. Just the little things making a difference.
Handoff up the middle, and 1st down. It's fighting forward for extra yardage is number 23. That's Caden Horton. And a 1st down for him. Across midfield out to the 46 of the Indians. Thanks for joining us here on Gate City Game Night. Presented by Lookout Credit Union. Also presented in part by Valley Office Systems and Portneuf Medical Center. Senior night here at Century. The purple and black with the white helmets. Diamondbacks trying to get their first win of the season. Pitch to the outside. Hit in the backfield and drug out of bounds for a loss on the play. Nice tackle and good job by the defense of Preston to string that out. Ball carrier for the Diamondbacks is Gunter. And Gunter, he hasn't been able to get free thus far on any of those runs. Oh,
He's
I
had
take
the
that
two
back.
big
He
plays.
did have
Yes,
the 2 big.
yes. And that's the first time that play hasn't worked for the Diamondbacks tonight.
Yeah, I was thinking about Horton and Johnson, who went out with a little bit of an injury. But you're right, Gunter's the man that has broke those 2 big runs. This time, though, it's 2nd and 14. Right up the middle. Ooh, and head whipped. That's going to be a face mask. We got a rugby scrum that headed sideways. Picks up about 6, but they're going to tack 15 on that, I guarantee you, as his head really whipped around.
I think he felt that as when the run actually finished and he fell to the ground, he felt a little bit more of a whip in his neck as well.
Yeah, Johnson Horton stood up and he really got his head whipped around on that play. So they just give it a 5-yard. I was sure that the way his head whipped,
didn't
they'd
look
get
incidental.
a 15. Dang. So just a 5-yarder, 2nd and 2 upcoming. He will need to see the chiropractor tomorrow after that one.
First time he's been off the field the whole game, too. I think they might be thinking the same thing.
Let's check your neck and make sure it's still intact. Handoff up the middle. It's number 7 working hard to try to get forward. We'll see. It's going to depend on the spot. That's Blake Phelan on the carry. He's going to be very close to the first down.
From the far side judge's spot, it looks like it'll be just a little bit short.
Yeah, they're inches, so it's going to be 3rd and inches. Handoff again to Phelan. Phelan, first down easy and a big hole out across inside the 30 to the 28. 1st and 10 for Century. So Blake Phelan, the senior, getting some time carrying the football. A big kid. 5'9", 205.
He has a little pop in his step, too.
Yeah, he's
explodes off the line of scrimmage.
Fired up a little bit here on senior night. The receiver never turned and looked. Luckily, that wasn't picked off. It was intended for Tristan Burrows. It almost looked like Burrows was blocking.
I saw Satter tap his chest there. Maybe he saw something, tried to audible maybe at the last second, and nobody else knew.
Burrows didn't get it. Didn't get the memo out there. Tristan Burrows, another senior, 6'4", 200 pounds for him as he's lined up in that wide receiver spot now, way out on the outside. Richie Bull, the tight end in this set. It's like a power run. They will. They'll be Phelan right up the middle. And it'll be 3rd and short, 3rd and 1 upcoming.
Just heard a Century fan say, "Give him the rock," and I have to agree at this point. The way he's exploding off the line.
Yeah, good blocking up front too, with the fullback in there as well as the offensive line creating room for him to run straight ahead. As now they split Lopez out, but it'll go to Blake Phelan again for the first down to the 15. So the Diamondbacks keep moving down the field. So we're underway here in the 2nd quarter. All tied up. A 2-yard touchdown run for Satter, and then a 15-yard touchdown pass from Judd to Lords to tie this thing up. We've got 7:07 left here in the 2nd. Now, Satter takes off, getting to the outside and driven out of bounds. A good pickup, maybe got 7 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 3 upcoming.
It was a great designed play there because the Diamondbacks have had success with the motion man and pitching it to him. They've had success up the middle, handing it off, and Satter. I mean, eventually, Satter's a great runner too. We've seen that in the games we've done here, and he showed it there. Great pickup on first down.
So 2nd and 3 inside the 10 now. Handoff to Phelan. And he's down to the 6, very close to the first down. Just shy of it, half a yard, so 3rd and very short. And you got to think maybe Phelan will get this again. Blake Phelan, as Satter goes under center. Satter might be looking, and now a flag. False start. That hurts. Some movement up front by the Diamondbacks. They were 3rd and 1, and now it's all the way back to 3rd and 6 after the mistake.
And this is 4-down territory. The success they're having with Phelan, like, I think I'd just give it right back to him and see if he can get a first down. If not, it's almost a guarantee he's going to get 3 or 4 yards and make it a very short 4th down.
See what the Indian defense does here. So they've got to expect, like you said, they've got to expect it to be handed off. It's either got to be Satter or Phelan. But they don't. They'll pass. Floating it up to the far corner, and it's incomplete. Good inside position by Caden Latham, and that goes incomplete for 4th down. It looks like they'll come on with the field goal unit.
And they did make a field goal last week, so obviously showing confidence in their kicker here.
Yeah, the kicker is turned sideways to us. It is Silas Wills, Silas Wills on to kick, and he is a pretty good kicker. He can knock in these field goals. Again, though, they get through, and it's missed again. That field goal up and in, I was sure that Judd that time was going to block it, and he missed it once again, and the field goal's up and good for Wills.
That's essentially 4 points now that Judd is, I'm not going to say responsible for, but it feels like there was no way he wasn't going to hit that ball.
Both times.
And it didn't look like it went over him either. It just looked like it kind of went to the side of him. And I mean, he is their quarterback. He doesn't want to take one in the stomach where he has to come out for a while, but
it doesn't look like, though, that he's been like backing off. I mean, he's right there. It just has gone through him, over him, beside him. I don't know.
It'll be an interesting development as we go throughout this game, because he's been right there. And fortunately for the Diamondbacks, he hasn't hit it because they have the lead because of it.
Yeah, up 10-7 now, so that good drive ends in a field goal as they take the lead here with about 7 minutes left here in the second quarter. I want to thank Valley Office Systems and Rico. They're your local hometown office solutions team, delivering the level of service that you expect because they're a service company above all else. Valley Office Systems and Rico want to wish all the Gate City teams best of luck. And thanks for joining us here on Gate City Game Night. A lot of games going on across the state that are being broadcast on IdahoSports.com. Check those out as well. Just click on the GameStreams tab. Stick with us, obviously, if you want to watch this game, but there's some others. You can click around and see what's going on across the state. Return man takes that at the 4, finds some room to run, and then cut down at about the 23-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Indians with 5:17 left in the quarter. Blake Phelan with the tackle on the coverage team.
So far, only one possession in the game where there hasn't been a score. There's been long drives from both teams. And something, like I said before the game, you know, we didn't know what to expect, if there was going to be a lot of points or almost no points. And both offenses have been right there.
So handoff up the middle, changing directions a little bit and picking up a couple yards is the ball carrier. That is Winder again. I keep having to look at his number because Winder's listed as a quarterback, a linebacker, and a wide receiver. I'm going to write.
Naturally, he plays running back.
Yeah, I'm going to write in running back here so that I can find him.
And he did quarterback the Indians in the first 2 games of the season, so maybe the whoever filled out the roster was not thinking ahead. they were thinking about what the outcome was going to be at the beginning of the season.
So 1st down on the reception to Winder. That time he was at the wide receiver. Then a roughing the passer penalty against the Diamondbacks will tack on another 15 yards. So they'll go from having it at the 35 all the way out to the 50.
That's 2 personal foul penalties already on the Diamondbacks.
And that's a nice 30-yard play right there. Yeah, you're right. They had the late hit on the far side over there earlier in the first quarter, and now the roughing the passer penalty. giving up some field position. 4:40 left in the first half. As Judd gets everybody set, Winder to his right. Back to pass, slung out in the flat and incomplete. Off the hands of Titan Knapp, the tight end. And he was going to get popped had he caught that, so maybe better that it went incomplete.
You know, sometimes a gain of 1 is not worth the pain that comes with it.
4:27 left here in the second. Once again, it's senior night here at Century. And a good group of fans here, a good student body over there. On the carry, that's Winder again. He's going to pick up about 3 before he's driven back down to the 47. So it'll be 3rd and 7 now after the short carry. Third and long. See what the Indians have here. So it's Judd and Winder again in the backfield. 4 wideouts, 3 to the far side and 1 to our side. And that ball short hops the intended receiver. It'll be 4th down now, and you got to think from here, you'd think the Indians might kick it away. Just across the 50.
Especially with the way that their defense has not been able to stop the run. I would think a punt would be coming here. I believe that Winder does the punting, but it might be Judd. I've seen Judd do a couple of quick kicks.
And they're not lined up. He's a little deeper, so I think, yeah, it might be Judd just trying to pooch it from here. We'll see. He's rolling out. And he's going to throw 1st down as that ball's caught on the far sideline. So it almost looked like he had the option. If there was nobody open, he might have tried to kick it on the move. He found a receiver, and it's 1st and 10 now for the Indians.
And he's hit his favorite target again, Cade Lords. He hasn't had an incompletion to Lords yet. I believe that's 5 completions so far to Lords, and
1 for a touchdown.
He's always open. That's what it feels like. And so, will they keep going to him on this drive to end the half? We'll have to see.
3:30 and counting here in the first half, and now I think we're going to have our first timeout of the half, called by Preston. Or we're going to take that timeout as well. We step away. Remember, it's Gate City Game Night here on IdahoSports.com. We'll be right back after this.
I love Lookout's campus branch. The vibe and the service. But with digital banking, it all comes to me. My customizable dashboard provides all my information. Accounts, cards.
Anything else?
I'm good. Bill pay, even my credit score. Gotta go. I mean, you gotta go download this app and upload convenience today.
Your home team, when local matters. Valley Office Systems, your local provider for all things office. Copiers, printers, office furniture, and document management. Proudly serving Idaho since 1974. Valley Office Systems.
Well, welcome back here to Century High School. It's 1st and 10 for the Indians after the timeout. They picked up a big 1st down on 4th and 8. And the drive continues. Trying to take the lead for the first time here with 3:26 left in the first half. Slung out in the flat, making a man miss, and then picking up more yardage as Winder is still on his feet. 1st down, and I think that ball ended up fumbling, but it went out of bounds. Man, Winder took 3 or 4 hits and still popped free for a 1st down.
He does not go down easy. And with the fumble, they'll take it back to where he originally fumbled the football, which is only about 2 yards back. But another great effort by Winder. He's a tough cookie.
So 1st and 10 now, as we'll see what the call is here. Century was coming up hard, and they're going to say offsides. So 5 yards onto that, so it'll be 1st and 5 now. Ball will be at about the 22-yard line, so just outside the red zone for the Preston Indians.
Do you think they should let those plays continue if it's like they do in college and the NFL?
School?
Do you think they should allow that in high school, or do you think it disadvantages the quarterback or too much?
I would guess the thing they're concerned about is player safety.
Of course, yeah.
Winder breaking free, running over a tackler. He just pushed him down. Winder picking up another first down. 2:34 left. You know, I like that in the college and NFL where that game play continues. It gives the offense a shot down the field. I get in high school, again, player safety being number one, why they do kill it. But I kind of like it being live. Handoff to Winder around the left side, finding more holes. Still on his feet near the goal line before he's finally drugged down at about the 4. And very close again to another first down.
I have a guess for you where this ball is going on this next play.
Starts with W and ends in Inder.
It also rhymes with Kinder.
And it is Winder lined up in the backfield with 1:56 left. And they do turn around. No, it's Judd rolling out, going for the pylon. He dives. Did he get there? No, he stepped out of bounds at the 2, it looks like.
It was a good effort by him, though. He's a pretty tall quarterback, and not as fast as Winder by any means, but he showed some ability to turn the corner right there. I like the play call, but I'm sure they'll go back to Winder.
And it's a keeper, and it's a scrum, and the ball came free! And then recovered by Century. So the worst thing that could happen for the Indians, as that ball squirted free, it's picked up by number 83 for the Diamondbacks. That is Charlie Horrocks, I believe. A huge defensive stop for Century.
And Judd looks very dismayed. He must have thought that I mean, we can't see it too close from here, but he must have extended the ball past the goal line in his opinion. And that maybe is what jarred the ball loose.
Yeah, it looked just like a big pileup, and whoever pushed the hardest was going to come out winners. Well, that time the ball squirts free.
Huge play, especially ending this half.
1:21 left to go here. Handoff, I was going to say that's Phelan, but I'm not sure. We'll wait for play and a big flag coming in on the backside of this play.
I have to imagine it's maybe an unsportsmanlike conduct as they're still talking to the officials about the last play.
Just a sideline warning, I think, against Preston. Probably because, yeah, you're absolutely right. They're probably getting barked at a little bit about that last couple of plays where they thought they had the touchdown and then the ball gets kicked free. So 2nd and 3 after the penalty. No yards on that penalty, just the sideline warning.
Also a big play in general just because the Diamondbacks get the ball to start the second half and might have a better chance to come out with the lead here.
Big hole up the middle and still on his feet coming down the near sideline, and now it's a foot race. And it looks like it's going to be the Diamondbacks with a huge turn of events all the way to the end zone. Touchdown. The ball carrier, Caden Horton, breaks free. And what should have been or could have been an Indians lead at 14-10 turns into a 17-7 swing for the Diamondbacks. PAT pending, of course. But what a turn of events with 38 seconds left here in the first half.
And what a way for the Diamondbacks to be here on senior night. They came to play. Big holes, big plays, and big results.
PAT is up, and it is good. So it is 17-7 and a huge swing. It's the Diamondbacks capitalize on the turnover and score with 38 seconds left here in the first half on about an 80-yard touchdown run from Caden Horton. I did not see that happening here at the end of the half, Dallin.
It looked just like a methodical drive by Preston that they were drawing up all the way to the goal line. A couple big plays. And ultimately, 17-7 was not the score I predicted at halftime, even just 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, it looked like Preston was going in to take the lead at a 14-10 with the PAT, and then a turnover at about the 2 turns into a 14-point swing if you want to look at it that way, right here at the end of the first half. And again, as you mentioned, Century will come out and get the football to start the second half. So that's what you want to do. You want to score and then get the ball back to start the third quarter. So senior night going the way of the Diamondbacks right now. As they get ready to kick off here, they'll just kind of pooch it. And it's going to take a bounce out of bounds for the procedure penalty. That'll bring that ball up to the 35 for the Indians, and they'll have 38 seconds to go 65 yards if they want to try it.
And normally in this situation, 2 timeouts, I would want to try it, but after the fumble by your quarterback, you wonder how much emotion he has right now. It might be better off just to hand it off to Winder and see if he can make a play rather than a potential compounding of mistakes. That's not what you want from your quarterback. You want to give him confidence going into the half. But they do have 2 timeouts, so we'll see what they come out to do.
And it is Judd back there with Winder. They are going to go down the sideline. It's caught. Did he stay in bounds is the question. He did. Great catch out there. That's Lords again. Lords taking the shot, but a beautiful throw.
And stops the clock as well. Only 5 seconds off the clock, and they're in Diamondback territory just like that.
Yeah, 33 seconds, and that's a great point. They're in at the 40. Still have their timeouts left as well. 2 of them, anyways. 2 of the 3. Owen Judd flushed. Lets go of it to the sideline and then out of bounds. Incomplete. And now a flag comes in the middle of the field. We'll see what that is.
I can't imagine it's intentional grounding because Titan Knapp was in the area.
Correct.
Maybe the back official saw something that we didn't know.
Personal foul against the Diamondbacks. 54. I didn't see it. It happened on the line of scrimmage. The big guy's mixing it up a little bit on the line of scrimmage, but now you tack 15 on. You're down to the 30 with 29 seconds left. I guess they're at the 32, 29 seconds left, and still 2 timeouts.
Just another devastating penalty by the Diamondbacks. They've done this to themselves all year. And with the way that they've been throwing to Lords, the Indians have a great shot at the end zone over these next few plays.
So they pitch it to Winder. Winder drugged down from behind, and that's going to be a horse collar. The Century coaching staff not thrilled with the flags. We'll see what the call is. I didn't think that was a face mask, but the only thing I can think of is a horse collar.
They did get a face mask there. It wasn't a personal foul. So maybe he just pulled the side, I wonder.
That is a 15.
Although they are giving the 15. I didn't see the personal foul signal. That's 4 personal foul penalties now in the first half on the Diamondbacks, 2 on back-to-back plays.
Yeah, he must have got right on the side because I thought it looked like more of a horse collar, but he must have just got the edge of that face mask.
And Winder did come down funny. I guess maybe that's what the officials are worried about, the safety there. they've got Lords up top. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go to the end zone here to him.
He's double covered out there, though. And then that's a dangerous throw out of bounds. Good. I don't think that there was any chance that was going to be intercepted. It was way too far outside. But it'll be 2nd and 10 with 17 seconds left. Again, Preston still has both timeouts. So time here, the question is, do you want to try to run it and take a timeout, or do you throw again? That throwing play took some time to develop.
And they do, like you said, they do have enough time with 2 timeouts where they could go to the middle of the field here and maybe get 10 yards away, take one more shot at the end zone, and then decide what they want to do from there. But
now I think we're going to have a timeout called by Century in this situation. So what looked like a huge swing of momentum could take a little turn back towards Preston if they can score here and bring it back to within 3 points. Remember to check out, we've talked about it, the prepcasts on IdahoSports.com. They're always entertaining and, as we've mentioned, occasionally controversial, and that's what makes them entertaining at times. But we'll cover every inch of Idaho, hosted by Brandon Bainey. Each prepcast features one of our in-house experts talking about what's going on in your part of the state. Just go to IdahoSports.com, click Prepcasts in the menu to get caught up on what you've been missing. And remember to follow IdahoSports.com on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Get updates, breaking news, pictures, and more. Click the icons in the top left to follow us now. As you know, soccer has already started into their district tournament. Both boys and girls soccer has started into their tournaments. We'll have updates on that going on the site. Volleyball approaching that time of year. And, of course, football, we're still 3 weeks away. Back to pass down the middle, tipped by 2 Indian players before it falls incomplete. 13 seconds left on the clock, and 3rd and 10 upcoming. Fortunate for that ball to fall incomplete after getting tipped twice.
And if you're the Indians, it's almost a have to score on this possession. If you're the Diamondbacks, if you stop them here, once again, like you pointed out, the momentum is all there.
Whistles prior to the snap. Another timeout taken by Century. They're down to 1 left after this one.
Yeah, you never can take your timeouts with you, so you might as well use them.
It's like money. Just spend it.
That's right. We're not recommending that, but we've all been there.
Yeah, I'm not your financial advisor. Don't take financial advice from me. Well, thanks again for joining us here on Gate City Game Night. Here from Century High School, presented by Lookout Credit Union, as well as Portneuf Medical Center and Valley Office Systems. Huge thanks to all of them and our major advertising partners. Can't do this without any of these sponsors. Project Filter, Valley-Wide Cooperative, the Idaho Transportation Department, who is also our sponsor for the player of the game, the Idaho Transportation Department, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, Next Steps Idaho, and, of course, your local Toyota dealers, longtime sponsors on IdahoSports.com. A huge thanks to the local Toyota dealers for all their support of high school athletics here specifically in southeast Idaho. So 3rd and 10 after the timeout. Little screen and just not sure what. That didn't go as planned.
I didn't love the play call there. With 13 seconds left, I know you want to get out of bounds, but you have 2 timeouts. On 3rd down, I want to try to get as close and maybe have the option of a field goal at least, but irregardless, it's 4th down at the 20, and looks like they're going to try it, though.
So the field goal kicker will come on. That's number 87 for the Indians. That is Parker Cromwell.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the Diamondbacks use another timeout here, the way they've been using their timeouts this drive.
About a 38-yard field goal here from the right hash. Kick didn't get off the ground. So the hold, there was something wrong with the hold there. Didn't get down right, and Cromwell didn't have a chance as that ball came off funny. So the Diamondbacks do hold. They've got 7 seconds left on the clock and a lead of 17-7 here as we approach halftime.
And normally I'd say take a knee here, but the way they've had big plays in their running, they might as well hand it off and just see what happens.
So 1st and 10 from the 20. The Diamondbacks have it, and they do just take a knee. And that'll be the half. So the Diamondbacks here on senior night getting a standing O as they head off the field for halftime from their hometown crowd. They lead 17-7 over the Preston Indians. We're going to step away, take a break. We'll come back with a little halftime scoring wrap-up, talk about some of the playoff implications in the 4A division, and take a look at some of the scores from around the state. This is Gate City Game Night here on IdahoSports.com. We'll be back.
When local matters, Valley Office Systems, your local provider for all things office. Copiers, printers, office furniture, and document management. Proudly serving Idaho since 1974. Valley Office Systems.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
We're a valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
Welcome back here to halftime as we got the punt, pass, and kick scenario going on here. The punt was a good one out to the 50, the throw all the way down, and now that ball takes a nice bounce down to the 1. So we'll see. This is it. It's the field goal. This is always the problem here at halftime. This is worth $200.
I can tell you from running pump pass kick before, this is not an easy kick because
you're almost too close.
They're too close, yeah.
We'll see, though. If he can get his toe under it, that's the big deal here. He looks like he's experienced. That is in. 200 bones for that young man. Paul Kingsbury, pay up. That, a $200 gift card for that young man.
He looks not that excited. I'm kind of surprised. If I just won $200, I'd be going crazy.
Well,
he's been there. He's been there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's no big deal for him as he knocked that baby through. I believe that is our first winner of the season. As IdahoSports.com put on this punt, pass, and kick, 100% of the proceeds going to the school districts where this has taken place. All of the Pocatello school districts, Highland, Pocatello, and Century, and then a couple others as well. But $200, I think that's our first winner. We'll let Mr. Kingsbury know. Got some scores that have come in from across state, halftime scores mostly.
Yeah, at the half we have Twin Falls actually beating high-scoring Burley 14-12, not something that you wouldn't expect a low-scoring game with Burley. Bishop Kelly up 22-6 on Emmett. In the last report we have from the first quarter of the Bonneville-Hillcrest game, Bonneville was up 7-0, and Skyview over Nampa at the half 14-13.
That's a big Bonneville matchup. Bonneville-Hillcrest, it's the Civil War up there at Thunder Stadium. We got the halftime show here from the Diamondback Marching Band, as we're going to take a look at some of the halftime, or excuse me, the playoff implications here in the 4A. I'm going to bring up a graphic for those of you watching out here, out there, real quick. So this is the 4A playoff bubble. You can find this on IdahoSports.com. Brandon Bainey put these together along with some explanation of all of the classifications, but this is the 4A one. So there's 16 berths overall available, 8 automatic and then 8 at-large. Those at-large bids is determined by the Max Prep ranking, so that's important to keep in mind, those of you looking at this. Currently, from up north, you've got Lakeland at 6-1, BK over in District 3, they're 6-0. You've got Emmett over there right now, who's playing Bishop Kelly, 5-1. So it looks, if that game holds as it is right now, it'll be Bishop Kelly 7-0 and Emmett 5-2. Minico's at 6-1. They're in charge of their conference. Twin Falls behind them at 5-1. And then here in the Southeast Idaho Conference, you've got Pocatello at 2-4. Granted, again, they haven't played a conference game yet. Skyline up in District 6 at 4-2, and then Shelley just behind them at 3-3. They're gonna, those two bids from District 6 right now. That looks like Skyline and Shelley. Now the at-large, you've got Blackfoot, who's hit a bit of a skid as of late. They're 3-3, 1-1 in conference. Then you've got Sandpoint from up north, Burley at 4-2 over in the Magic Valley, Valley View in the Treasure Valley, Hillcrest, Idaho Falls, both up in District 6 at 2-4, and then Canyon Ridge at 4-1 as they sit behind Minico and Twin Falls. So that's an interesting matchup to see if, you know, what Canyon Ridge can do against Twin Falls, because they could bump Twin Falls for that second berth that's available in District 4. And then you've got Bonneville, who's playing Hillcrest right now. Both those teams slated as projected at large. Those two teams playing in the Civil War up there at Thunder Stadium. The bubble teams, this is where Preston falls in. Skyview at 1-5. Mountain Home at 1-5. Columbia at 1-5. Preston at 1-5. And Ridgeview at 1-4. So there's your projected playoff teams for District 4. Obviously, this can move around quite a bit, especially with now conference play starting to kick off a little bit more for everyone. Granted, you know, Minico's played 3 conference games, Emmett 2, BK 2, Skyline and Shelley have both played 2, but some of these teams down here just getting underway here. Preston and Century, one of these teams is going to be 1-0 after tonight, and the other one 0-1 in conference. So there's your bubble teams for the playoffs here in the 4As, and your projected at-larges and those that we think will get the automatic bids. So we shrink this down so we can see the halftime show here again on senior night. On a beautiful night here at Century High School. While we've got you, let's talk about the scoring in that first half. It started off early with Century, and it ended with Century. In the first, it was Satter on a 2-yard touchdown rush with about 4:22 left in the first quarter. The PAT was good, and that put it to 7-0. And then a quick answer from the Indians. It was Judd to Lords with a 15-yard touchdown pass for the Indians with 1:44 left in the first to tie the ball game after the PAT. Then in the second, Silas Willis knocked in a 25-yard field goal with 5:30 left in the second quarter to give Century the lead 10-7. And then a quick swing in the game as Preston was driving. They were down around the 2. They thought they'd got in on the play previous. And then a scrum happens in the field. The ball comes free. Century picks it up. And a couple plays later, with 38 seconds left in the ball game, or in the first half, Horton goes on an 18-yard touchdown run. The PAT is good. I said 18. I meant 80-yard touchdown run.
A little different.
Yeah, to give the Diamondbacks a 17-7 lead here at halftime. And again, Preston was driving. Even with 38 seconds left, they got down inside the red zone and were threatening again. The field goal is no good on the attempt, and so we're stuck at 17-7. The Diamondbacks on top. Kind of a wild end to the half.
And both teams have looked good offensively. The score, I mean, it's a relatively low scoring first half, but 17 is as high as the Diamondbacks have scored all season in a game. The Indians shut out last week. They have 7. They have a lot of yards, though. Just 2 empty red zone trips that are really going to haunt them if they're not able to come back in the second half. But the Diamondbacks, I mean, it's been about as flawless of a game as you can offensively. They haven't really been stopped much other than by themselves on penalties. They've had 4 personal fouls in that first half that really killed them. But, I mean, last week they had a 2-score lead against Idaho Falls, and we saw what happened in the end where they lost by 3 scores. And so the second half, if you're the Diamondbacks, you got to come out with that same energy where you're taking the kickoff and stay strong.
Yeah, you mentioned the penalties from Century. That's really the one blemish on their first half is they didn't get penalized, or the Indians didn't capitalize on them. So they weren't hurt by them, but it really put Preston in good scoring opportunities, and Preston just wasn't able to capitalize on them. So they need to limit that, of course, in the next half to kind of hopefully secure this win for themselves here on senior night at Century High School. Well, we are going to step away as we continue to watch the marching band here on senior night at Century High School. It's Gate City Game Night here on IdahoSports.com, presented by Lookout Credit Union and Portneuf Medical Center and Valley Office Systems. Huge thanks to them. We're going to step away. We'll be back here for the third quarter in about 7 minutes here on IdahoSports.com.
When local matters, Valley Office Systems, your local provider for all things office, copiers, printers, office furniture, and document management. Proudly serving Idaho since 1974. Valley Office Systems.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
We're a valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
All right, I put this on one check. Is that okay? Draw?
That was fast and secure. It's Mobile Wallet from Lookout Credit Union.
Your home team, when local matters. Valley Office Systems, your local provider for all things office, copiers, printers, office furniture, and document management. Proudly serving Idaho since 1974. Valley Office Systems.
All right. I put this on one check. Is that okay? Draw?
That was fast and secure. It's Mobile Wallet from Lookout Credit Union.
Your home team, when local matters. Valley Office Systems, your local provider for all things office. Copiers, printers, office furniture, and document management. Proudly serving Idaho since 1974. Valley Office Systems.
I love Lookout's campus branch. The vibe and the service. But with digital banking, it all comes to me. My customizable dashboard provides all my information. Accounts, cards.
Anything else?
I'm good. Bill pay, even my credit score. Gotta go. I mean, you gotta go download this app and upload convenience today.
Welcome back here as we get ready for the third quarter here on Gate City Game Night on IdahoSports.com, presented by Lookout Credit Union, Portneuf Medical Center, and Valley Office Systems. It's going to be the Indians kicking off to the Diamondbacks here to start the third. Remind everybody you can take a look at the Friday Night Flash on IdahoSports.com. That is your scoreboard for all high school football across the state. If you've got games with scores that you want to send in to update, you can send them in as well. And stay tuned to that as the night grows on. You know, by 10, 11 o'clock, other than, I guess, the games up north, so 10 or 11 o'clock Mountain Time, we typically have all of those games in, except for the games being played in Pacific Time. Those take another hour, of course. Short kick taken at the 12, and a good return out near this near sideline, and then out of bounds goes the return man. That's number 4. That's Jake Rawlings. And great field position for the Diamondbacks to start out at the 37-yard line. So the Diamondbacks got a big swing in momentum at the end of that first half. We'll see if they can continue that here starting the third, just underway here at Century High School. The seniors were honored, the cheerleaders as well as the football players. And it's Satter to throw. It's caught. And now looking to get upfield and tackled after about a 6-yard gain. Reception by Tristan Burrows, the senior tight end. 2nd and 5 upcoming. Valley Office Systems and Rico, they're your local hometown office solution team, delivering the level of service that you expect because they're a service company above all else. Handoff up the middle, big hole, first down. Horton, he had the 80-yard touchdown run at the end of the first half to extend this lead, and he picks up a first down there as he's flirting with at least 100 yards now on his carries for the evening. 11:05 remaining, 1st and 10. And I thought Horton had it, but it wasn't. It was Satterfield who pulled it back and kept it, picks up about 5 yards.
Yeah, that was a true RPO. Satter pulled that as late as possible, but good thing because he got 5 yards out of it.
Yeah, and Horton wasn't going anywhere had he taken the carry. Onto the field comes Gunter. He had a couple big runs early. We'll see what they do with him out onto the field. Little change of play as they move Horton to Satter's right. Down the field, wide open, caught behind the secondary, and it's a big first down for Century. That's number 11 on the reception, Richie Bull. I tell you what, this offense looks different tonight than what we've seen over the past few weeks. that was just a little like misdirection as they put guys in motion in the backfield, and he just went untouched down the middle. Again, same play off the fingertips of Bull. That was the exact same play, and he was wide open again, just overthrown a little bit that time.
Almost every time that the Diamondbacks have gone downfield tonight, they've had an open receiver. They haven't done it much. That's only maybe the third or fourth time they've done it. But going forward, it's open. The running game's open. The offense is wide open. Play calling is at a premium right now for the Diamondbacks.
9:59 left here in the third. The Diamondbacks threatening 2nd and 10. Handoff up the middle. Horton tripped up inside the 5 down to the 3. Caden Horton just short of the goal line again, and it's 1st and goal as they bring in Phelan as a lead back, it looks like. We may see some power running here over the right side of the line. It's just going to be Satter on the keeper. Little fake, slips inside for a touchdown. David Satter, 3-yard touchdown run. And now Century up 23-7. Century just went past their high scoring of the season. They had 17 last week at Idaho Falls, and they just surpassed that now with 23-24 if they can knock in the PAT. It's up, it's good. As Silas Wills knocks in his extra point, and it's 24-7 now, the Diamondbacks on top. And a good opening drive from them once again. But Preston needing to figure out what they're doing defensively, and that's, we have not seen the offense for Century come alive like this. Got a little momentum after the turnover in the first half, and they take that this second half opening drive 80 yards for a touchdown.
And they've really only ran probably 6 plays this whole game. They've ran the handoff up the middle with the lead blocker. They've ran the misdirection toss. They had the play up, the pass up the middle. They had a pass deep, but that's really about it. Like, they haven't really been that wide in the playbook. They've seen what works. They obviously came prepared for this game. They knew where the holes were in the Indians' defense, and 24 points with 9:35 left in the third quarter. They've done a great job.
It just looks different, and it's probably just because it's been successful. You know, they've really struggled at times to score the football. You know, based on their scoring, offense has been tough for them. But tonight, it looks like everything's moving. Everything is gelling, and the defense has done their part as well. Nice kick from Mills, taken at about the 7. Looking for a big return. And drug out of bounds. Flag comes in at the 20. We'll see what that is on the far side. A holding penalty going to go against Preston. And so things go from bad to worse as they'll start back at their 10-yard line instead of out around the 25.
Yeah, when it rains, it pours right now for the Indians. They are desperately
in a bad way.
They are desperately in need of a big play here, and I mean it's hard at this point because the players want to just score on a 80-yard touchdown right now, 90-yard touchdown after the penalty. But I mean you still have to chop away. You can't score a 17-point touchdown. You got to just chop away, trust your game plan, and do your part, and hopefully the defense will do the same for you.
And as you mentioned, after the penalty, they're going to start at their own 10. 1st and 10 from there with 9:29 left here in the third. They sling it out into the flat for Lords. Lords bottled up and driven back. Going to pick up about 4, it looks like, out to the 14. So bring up second and about 6. I like that play. Just get it out to Lords. Lords has been his go-to receiver. Get something positive here. And they pick up 4 yards to make it second and 6. See what they do from here. Webb down the field, off the helmet of the defender. It bounced off the head of number 83, Charlie Horrocks, and I like the call from the play-by-play, or from the PA. A heads-up play by Horrocks there.
Sometimes your best weapon is your head.
Horrocks never saw it coming as he had his back turned, but right off the helmet. The 6'2" frame helping there defensively. And now it's 3rd and 6 in a spot where Preston really needs a big play. This would be a big first down pickup if they could get it.
I'd like to see them go to Lords here on the bottom of your screen. He's got some separation there.
High snap. Webb gets it. Now he's in trouble. Gets away. And he's going to chuck it looking for his receiver. It's caught. How did he catch that? The defender went underneath to try to intercept it. It went over his hands, and somehow the Indians pick up a first down on that play.
It fooled me on the camera work. I moved it a little bit early, but great catch by Davin Inglet there, keeping his concentration. Sometimes broken plays can be your biggest plays.
Yeah, I thought there was a good shot that could be intercepted. And Inglet comes away with a big first down play, and Preston needed that one. Handoff up the middle. Winder falling forward. We haven't seen him carry the ball too much as of late, and he picks up about 3 on that carry, maybe 4, just shy of the 40-yard line. 2nd and 6 upcoming. .8:15 and counting here in the 3rd. Preston trying to close this gap. At the sticks, caught, and then out of bounds. Receiver on the play, that's number 12 over there. That is Caden Larson. Caden Larson listed as wide receiver, cornerback, strong safety, and full safety.
Free safety.
Free safety. Like, that doesn't sound right.
He plays whatever skill position the Indians need.
Yeah, offense or defense. Handoff up the middle. That's Winder straight ahead. Winder plowing forward. Going to be just shy of the 45. Very close to another first down, but about a half-yard shy.
The interesting thing about Winder is that he really doesn't get that low. He's just big and strong. You don't see guys running over people as much unless they're lowering their shoulder. He's literally just running straight forward and knocking Diamondback defenders down every single carry.
That's Winder again, and he does run tall. Breaking into the secondary, first down easily out across the 35 to the 33. 1st and 10 for the Indians. Yeah, that is a great observation. He doesn't go low. He stays high, almost high-stepping in the middle of the field.
He just trusts his height, and his legs are going to carry him all the way. And it's been working. He's had success on the ground.
This time they'll set him out on the run. Judd taken down at the 30, so he picks up about 4. And it'll be 2nd and 6 upcoming. Owen Judd, the left-handed quarterback, a senior for the Indians, trying to lead the comeback. Down 24-7 with 6:36 left in the 3rd.
And apart from the fumble, he's had a pretty good day.
A pump fake. Now he's going on the run again, reaching for the first down, and I think he got it unless he stepped out early. No, they're going to say first down. He got there. Yeah, you're right. That was kind of a real big momentum swing, especially since Century turned around and scored in the last 30 seconds after that.
Technically a 14-point swing because they got the ball coming out of halftime and didn't take long to score.
Winder with the carry. Winder nowhere to go that time, and that's about, he hasn't had too many of those. That time no gain on the carry All his carries have pretty much been positive yardage. Got bottled up in the middle that time. So 2nd and 10 upcoming. 6 minutes left here in the third quarter. Handoff to Winder. Winder, man to beat, cuts back inside, dragging tacklers and reaching. Picks up about 4. It'll be 3rd and 6 upcoming.
We saw last time before the half they attempted a field goal from about this distance. Didn't turn out the way they wanted to, so you have to imagine it's 4 down territory here.
And maybe a little contact there as the center just kind of rolls backwards after Century comes across the line. It'll be 3rd and 1 now. Still shy of the first down, but a lot more manageable. And nobody's really been very disciplined on those 3rd down hard counts. Both teams have jumped.
It's gone one way or the other every time.
Yeah.
It's been a false start or an offsides every single time.
Really stacked up in the middle are the Diamondbacks. They're going to turn. Judd will roll out. And off 2 players' helmets. That hit Inglet first and then the defender. That's number 9.
I don't know if Inglet thought that was a run play or because he didn't even look up. Maybe he thought the ball was going to Lords guaranteed, and he's just trying to get out there to block for him.
Well, you know, Judd turned right into an oncoming rusher as he came out of that play, so he had to get rid of it. But 4th and 1, this is a big play for the Indians. They hand it to Winder. Smart move. Winder going for the goal line down at the 1.
Well, they go back to the quarterback sneak here. I think if I'm the Indians, I just give the ball back to Winder. There's only been one play the whole game that the Diamondbacks have held him up at the line of scrimmage. He's a positive yardage runner.
And now, not sure what the scenario is. We had a whistle. Timeout taken by somebody.
Looked like it was by the Diamondback defense. Just didn't want to get rushed into a play there.
Yeah, they had a player come off. That's number 3, kind of banged up a little bit for the Diamondbacks, and I think they had a guy coming on late, but that's Gunter kind of roughed up a little bit. So a timeout taken here, 4:50 left in the third. The Indians trying to claw back into this a little bit, down 24-7. We want to thank our presenting sponsors for tonight. That's Lookout Credit Union, Valley Office Systems, and Portneuf Medical Center. Huge thanks to them. And then our major advertising partners, Project Filter, Valleywide Cooperative, the Idaho Transportation Department, who is also our IdahoSports.com Player of the Game sponsor, and the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, Next Steps Idaho, and your local Toyota dealers. As we come back after the timeout, it's 1st and goal for the Indians at the 2. Handoff does go to Winder. Winder hitting the backfield and dropped for a loss. So he'll lose 2. It's going to be 2nd and goal from the 4. Great penetration up the middle by the Diamondback defense. Winder had no shot on that one as it got wrapped up around the legs.
And I'm not really a fan of them going in shotgun there on 1st down, because obviously you're going to give the ball to Winder. Let him get some steam running forward.
See what they do here is it looks like Century's coming with some pressure. Little handoff up the middle. It's Winder again. He's not going to get there. Stood up at the 3, maybe the 4, maybe no gain. So now we're 3rd and goal. And man, I don't know what it's been, but Century has been able to stand up strong on defense once Preston's got within the 5. If they stop them here again, that'll be twice in this ball game inside the 5. Under center goes Judd. Back to pass this time. They're just going to Lords. Lords has it knocked away. Good defense that time by Horton. So Horton doing it on both sides of the football, as he's got an 80-yard touchdown run and then breaks that up on 3rd and goal. So now 4th and goal for Preston. What do you do here? Judd going to be in the gun with Winder to his right. Back to pass, rush coming, Judd in trouble, gets rid of it, and incomplete. Not sure he would have got there anyways. And the Diamondbacks hold up again at the inside the 5, their second time this ball game, and it stays 24-7, and that's got to be disheartening for Preston.
Especially with there just being 3:30 left in the third quarter now. 3 straight trips to the red zone with nothing. That's and especially the way the defense has been playing too. The Century offense has been very, very good today, and not going to cap it yet, but that is definitely a very big turn.
Yeah, the only thing big here would be a turnover forced, as that handoff goes, I think that was Horton on the carry. He'll get outside the 5 out to about the 7. And yeah, it was Caden Horton giving him a little more breathing room there. Century now a whistles. Maybe Inglet banged up just a little bit. And coming in for him, number 17 for the Indians, that is Mason Blad. Coming in that safety position. And now bumping up as they're in man coverage. See if we get some pressure. And they do get some pressure. They overrun it. Big hit, though, coming from that defensive end position. Nice tackle there by number 56 for the Indians. That is Freeman Sturgis. And now it's 3rd and 6, and this would be a good time for a defensive stop for the Indians, so they could get a little better field position.
A little confusion for the Diamondbacks on which running back is in the game.
Yeah, Phelan comes off. And it's Horton back in the game. Satter back to pass. Going down the field. And off the fingertips. Nearly caught. A nice throw intended for Jake Rollins. Just couldn't control it off the fingertips. He had a defender right there. Would have been a great catch. But the Indians hold, and that's a big defensive stop for them. They'll get good field position after this return, as it's Inglet just across the 50, back near the 45 now. Out of his own end zone is Wills. End over end is going to take a bounce, and another pops up and will be returned by Inglet. Inglet trying to get to the outside and driven out of bounds at about the 46-yard line. So good starting field position for the Indians. They've got to capitalize here with 2:01 left in the third. Remember to check out the Friday Night Flash on IdahoSports.com for all the score updates across the state here on Friday night. A lot of big games going on as conference plays kicking off for some teams and kind of in the middle of the heat of things for a lot of others. Big games in the 3A ranks. You got Weiser and Homedale battling it out. You got Bear Lake and Malad in a big conference matchup. In the 2As, Winder on the carry. Winder breaking through would-be tacklers. Winder losing his feet and diving forward across the 30 for a first down.
And the only person that's stopping himself in the open field is himself as he tripped there.
Yeah, he tripped on the 31-yard line and dove forward to the 30.
You know, those lines, they'll get you sometimes.
Thick paint out there here on Century's home field. Redid the field and the numbers for senior night tonight. It looks great out there. The purple outlined by the white. Judd on the run. Now he throws out of bounds, incomplete, over the head. And that was just kind of a get rid of it, as it was about 5 yards over the head of Inglet. Minute 26 left. Clock stopped. 2nd and 10 at the 30.
We haven't really seen the Indians take a shot today. Every pass has been maybe 15 yards at the most, but everything's mostly been 10-yard passes, maybe a couple under routes. But as the game wears on, they're going to have to eventually. But
Century's done a good job of playing that zone defense. They've had safeties there. That ball behind everybody that it was intended for. And a flag, and they're going to say illegal shift, it looks like. So that's going to go against the Indians. But, yeah, Century has played a good defense. When they have tried to go a little further down the field, there's been help that's come across from the safeties. And that makes it more difficult when you're thrown into double coverage, even for a receiver as good as Lords. And Inglet just doesn't have the size really to go up and get a ball in double coverage especially.
yeah, and as the game's worn on, they've really keyed on Lords, like you pointed out. They've been doubling him over the top, and it's made a difference.
Winder in the backfield, trying to make guys miss, somehow gets out of the backfield, still on his feet, and still trying to gain yardage to the 35. Horrocks finally able to bring him down. It's 4th and about 4 now, and you got to go for it. And as much as I hate to say it, I'd almost give it to Winder and let him go to the right side there.
That's about all that's been working.
4th and 4. They are going to throw, though. Webb gets it away and nearly picked off. Again, he was throwing into double coverage. Century defense holds again, and it's still 24-7.
Right, Owen Judd, really, he hasn't had a clean pocket to throw in, but that was about as good a protection as you can get. He just threw it into double coverage, and the Diamondback D, something that hasn't been good this year. That's something that I didn't really expect. They've held strong, especially on their own end of the field.
Turned the Indians away 3 times in the red zone, 2 within the 5, and now they turn them away at the 25. Spinning out of tacklers is Horton. He'll pick up about 3 on the carry. And there's a little pep in the step of the Diamondbacks on offense. And we saw it early. We just didn't know how long it would last, and it's continued throughout this ball game. The defense has come up with a turnover that turned into a touchdown for Century. All 3 phases really going well here for the Diamondbacks on senior night. 5 seconds and counting down. They probably aren't going to get a playoff here, and they will not. That will be the end of the 3rd quarter. But Century scores again. They're up 24-7 over the Preston Indians. We're going to step away and take a break. It's Gate City Game Night here on IdahoSports.com. We'll be right back.
When joints begin to fail, it's more than an inconvenience. The relentless grinding pain slows you down and can even stop you from doing the things you enjoy in life. At Portneuf Medical Center, our skilled orthopedic experts are using advanced robotic surgeries to get you back to being you sooner with a less painful recovery. We're doing more than restoring joints. We're restoring lives.
Well, welcome back here as we start the 4th quarter. The Diamondbacks, you could hear them down there in between quarters saying, hey, one more, and we got a W. And they are right. They've got a 17-point lead and the ball here 2nd and 7 with 12 minutes left to go here on senior night. The Diamondbacks looking to pick up their first W, and it would be a conference win here over the Indians if they can hold on. And now flags flying, false start. And if anything's gone wrong for Preston, or for Century, it's been penalties. Personal fouls. Granted, I don't think there's been much here in the second half, but the first half they were plagued with them. And now a false start, that's happened. They've had offsides penalties that have tacked on yards for Century. They've just been lucky that they haven't hurt them on the scoreboard. And off middle, that ball goes onto the grass. It looks like Satter got back to it. He was trying to hand it off to Horton. But now it's 3rd and about 13 with 11:30 and counting. So a break there for the Diamondbacks that Satter was able to fall on that.
I was just saying during the quarter break, the one thing that the Indians need is a turnover, and they about got it there. Big 3rd down stop, though, for the Indians if they can get it here. They have to get it at this point to stay in the game.
Man in motion. It's Phelan. Across the middle, it's short and behind of the intended receiver. That was Bull. Richie Bull again. And now a 4th and 13, and you got to suspect from this deep in your own end that Century will kick it away. Punt crew coming on to the field. Silas Wills trots out. 11:01 left here in the 4th. It's finally starting to cool down here. It was beautiful till about 30 minutes ago. Still a beautiful night, just a cooler, beautiful night. As that ball takes a roll down to the 41, and that'll be it.
It's amazing that there hasn't been an interception in this game, because I think every single pass, excluding the ones that have actually been caught, have been tipped by multiple people.
It sure feels that way.
On both sides. Like, the offense will hit it, and then the defense will hit it, and then the offense will hit it again, or vice versa. It's just been a lot of throws behind the intended receivers, and no interceptions, though.
Yeah, 3 or 4 balls that have bounced off the helmets of both offense and defense as well. Back to pass. Now taking a shot downfield and too far out of bounds. That was Lords, the intended receiver, but trying to tiptoe on the sideline. 10:42 left here in the ball game. The Diamondbacks, they're 0-6, but they're looking to go 1-0 in conference, and they're well on their way with just 10:42 left in this ball game. If Preston can't put together the comeback, they'll fall to 1-6 and 0-1. Down the field and picked off. There's your interception. It was a double or a halfback pass, if you will. Picked off by the defense of Century. Number 9 gets the interception for Century. That is Colby Valentine. Happy Valentine's Day to him. A little late in the season, but he gets an interception, and a score here would just about seal this away for Century. With 10:35 left, there's still a little light at the end of the tunnel here for Preston, but it's dimming quickly. Handoff to Horton, I believe, and he gets driven backwards. Caden Horton with forward progress got back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And really, in the second half, the Indians' defense hasn't been too bad. It's just too many mistakes in the first half.
Just an update in the 4A ranks here close to us. Shelley defeats Idaho Falls 28-7. So Shelley keeping their playoff hopes alive. Having a good season. And Satter keeps it himself that time. Going to pick up about maybe 2 or 3 out to the 35. It'll be third and a long 6 for the Diamondbacks with 9:30 and counting here in the fourth. As Century happy to let that clock continue to run. Now down to 9:10 as they make a late substitution. Phelan comes off the field. And now they're going to get a delay of game penalty. A little too long. And no, they got a timeout first prior to the delay of game. I'll give you a few score updates as we run through 5A down to 182. Eagle up on Mountain View, 28-19. Highland trailing Rigby, 42-28. High-scoring game, but Rigby's offense powering through that. A close one at Meridian. It's Meridian Rocky Mountain. That's like 1 and 2, basically, in the 5A in that same conference. 7-6 Meridian on top. Middleton 42-7 over Capital. Skyview and Nampa 14-13. Impressive from Skyview. I thought Nampa would run away with that. That was in the second, so could be different now. Halftime, Cuna 10, Owyhee 7. Take a look at the 4A ranks. BK 29-13 now over Emmett in the third. No score from the Blackfoot Skyline game as of yet. No update, 14-12, Twin Falls over Burley. Bonneville Hillcrest, 14-13 Bonneville in the fourth. So a close one there in the Civil War. Sandpoint up on Lakeland, 17-7. That's all the 4A scores we've got as we come back after the timeout. Back to passes Satter. Across the middle, going down for it. And did he catch it? Yes, he did. First down, just shy of midfield. Great catch by Bentley Gunter going down to get that one. First down for the Diamondbacks.
Gunter's had a pretty good ball game for himself. We haven't said his name a ton, but every time that we have, it's been a big important play for the Diamondbacks.
Update on the Nampa Skyview game. Nampa now leading in the fourth, 27-20 over Skyview. Yeah, Gunter been a little quiet since the first half, but he has made some big plays. That Horton with the carry. 2 tough yards for Horton, and then a big flag comes in at the end of that. We'll see who that goes against.
Looked like it was on number 57 of the Indians. Just kind of threw down one of the linemen late. Maybe a little bit of frustration.
You're right. It's an unsportsmanlike personal foul penalty against the Indians. So you're right. Probably frustration as they just haven't been able to punch the ball into the end zone. One drive in the first quarter. They scored on their first drive of the game. Second drive. I think they got turned away on their first drive. So it was their second drive of the game. They scored. Looked pretty easy, and they have moved the football well. They just haven't been able to get into the end zone tonight. As they've turned it over. They've turned it over on downs a couple of times within the red zone. And now it's 1st and 10 for Century. Clock continue to run. They'll pass out to the tight end who's lined up at a receiver. That's Tristan Burrows, the 6'4" tight end. He picks up about 9 on the play out to the 30, so it'll be 2nd and 1 now with 7:50 and counting in the ball game. They have, Century has good size tight ends. They've got some good size wide receivers. They do like to run the football, but they've got guys that can make plays downfield. We've seen them use the tight ends more tonight. Bull and Burrows, both. That's Phelan finding a hole and picking up the first down and more down to the 24-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Diamondbacks. Remember, at the conclusion of this game, we'll award our IdahoSports.com Player of the Game, presented by the Idaho Transportation Department. A couple guys that have made a big impact for specifically the Diamondbacks, who look like they're going to win this ball game with 7:30 left in the ball game. That's Phelan again carrying 4 guys for a few more yards. He'll pick up 3. It'll be 2nd and 7, just outside the 20. They'll hand it off to Phelan again, looking for a hole. Gets stood up at the 20, so not much there. It'll be 3rd and a long 6. The Century Diamondbacks looking to go 1-0 in the conference. And Satter slipped trying to make his cut back inside. Not sure if he'd have got much after that, but he falls down just outside the 20, so now it'll be 4th down. They're going to bring on Wills for the field goal. Well, about a 36-yard field goal. Well, actually, it's more than that. If you let's see, he's back at the 28.
Yeah. Field goal, yeah.
This is about as much as he's hit today. Again, good penetration, and again, he buries it from 38. Silas Wills, and the offense continues to click for Century as they are now up 27-7 with about 6 minutes and 30 seconds. No, excuse me, 5:48 left. Now, big offensive outburst as they're 10 points over their season high here tonight. 27 points for the Diamondbacks. A touchdown and a field goal here in the second half. And the defense has held up well for Century as well, holding Preston just to a touchdown. Take a look at upcoming schedules here in a moment for these two squads. As Wills kicks off, and that's ball taken at about the 10, and a good return with some more room to run down here. And look at the speed on the return. That's going to go back for a touchdown. As the two Diamondbacks run into each other, and now we've got flags back here. A great return by number 17, that's Mason Blad, but I believe it's going to come back with flags back here at the 40-yard line. The 40 and the 45, actually, and it is a holding penalty.
I believe it was a blindside block.
Oh, a blindside block?
Yeah.
So a big play is negated by a penalty. Blad ran that back about just over 90 yards, about 95, 96 yards on the return. But he was aided by an illegal block.
Very unfortunate for the Indians, too, because that makes it a 2-score game with 5:32 left. I mean, that's enough time. I mean, they still have 3 timeouts if you get a stop, or you can, do the onside kick strategy as well, but that makes it a game.
And now a flag came in on the far side. And we're going to have a few more. It's a sideline warning again, a sideline infraction against Preston. That's the second one. A dead ball sideline infraction against Preston. That'll back him up 5 more yards. Now to the 25.
Yeah, a lot of frustration brewing for the Indians at this point in the game.
Offensively, it's been a difficult night for them. They've had multiple scoring opportunities where they just haven't been able to get into the end zone. I mean, they've had 3 scores turned away. You tack on 21 points, they're up 28-27. So
just missed opportunities. And the Diamondbacks, I mean, give all credit to the Diamondbacks. They've come out as a different team, like you talked about, than what we've seen throughout the season, and no better time to get hot.
Yeah, if you're going to save your wins, save them till conference play. Nice throw across the middle, caught by Lords for a first down out to the 45. Nice throw from Judd. Owen Judd. Hasn't been a great night throwing the football for Judd, but Lords has been his favorite target by far. They connect on that one for a nice 25-yard pickup. Judd on the run, trying to get to the sideline, and he gets out of bounds across the 50 to the 47-yard line. 5:08 left. Quickly, as they get lined back up, we'll take a look here at upcoming schedules. As it's 2nd and 1 for the Indians. Judd steps up. Now he throws to Lords again. Lords across the middle. First down and more. Ball came free, but he gets back on it. And it's
ruled down by contact as well.
Okay. Down to the 30, that is the 30, just inside the 30. 4:53 left on the clock. And Winder breaking free and finally brought down after about a 20-yard carry down to the 10. So Preston will then face off against Pocatello for their only other conference matchup next week on the 14th, and then they finish off against Snake River, 3A Snake River. So that game kind of means nothing really in the scheme of things. They're going to the corner, and that's Inglet, touchdown, Preston. So a quick score, but it might be too late here as there's 4:14 left on the clock. It's 27-13 now.
Makes you wonder what might have been if the Indians had been looking downfield a little bit more.
Yeah, and able to capitalize on their red zone visits.
The Diamondbacks still have their first team defense in there, and I doubt they were being complacent there. The Indians executed, and that's something they've struggled with today.
Flag again. PAT's up, and I think it was in, but we've got offsides. Man, they're just like lining up over the ball on the PATs. I think that's second or third time that's happened. I guess just seconds, and that's the only second touchdown for the Indians.
At this point, though, I mean, there's not really any benefit to going for 2 here. It's a 14-point game. It would only make it a 12-point game, still 2 possessions.
Yeah, so they'll just line up again to kick the PAT. A little more pressure this time, though, and it's going to be no good. So the penalty actually hurts the Indians, though I'm not sure he hit the PAT the first time either. If he would have, they would have just declined it and taken the PAT. Though I guess that's a dead ball. and it stays a 14-point game. Still 2 scores, but with 4:14 left here, Preston needs to force a turnover quickly. They've got to score, get the ball back, score again. A lot has to go right for them here in the last 4:14 to make this a little more interesting. On the other side of the ball, really, Century just needs to put together a couple first downs, run some time off the clock, and they'll walk out of here on senior night 1-0 in the conference. Speaking of Century, the Diamondbacks looking to move to 1-0 in the conference. They finish out their season against Pocatello on the 21st, so they have a bye week next week. They're off, and then they finish out their season against the Thunder from downtown Pocatello in what could really decide crazy enough, could decide the conference championship.
Yep, and honestly, if I was them, I wouldn't want that bye week right now. With the momentum they're carrying, it's going to be tough to carry it into the next week. They have to hope that Preston can beat on Pocatello next week and set the stage for them.
So an onside kick. It is covered by the Diamondbacks. And 4:13 to go here. They'll have the ball just shy of midfield at the 46-yard line. Yeah, that's really, you don't suspect that Preston should not be favored in that game against Pocatello next week. So keep that in mind. And Satter keeps that himself as he pulled it out of the guts. And now, I'm not sure that was a late hit or if he just ran into one of the, I don't think it was a late hit. I think he just ran into one of the sideline guys and they both went to the ground. If anything, that's a late hit out of bounds by Satter, running that hard into the sideline over there. Wow.
Yeah, I've seen more interesting things than that before.
Could you imagine the flag coming out on that one?
That would be, I'm not sure the Century faithful would like that over here on this side.
That would be one I have not seen. And I've seen a lot of stuff in high school football. That'd be one that would be new to me. That time he does hand it off to Horton. Horton barrels forward for a first down, so that helps the cause. 4:02 left here in the ball game. The only way I could see that happening is if you could just sell it that he targeted a guy on the sideline and just laid him out on purpose.
Yep.
That's the only way, and you'd have to be pretty confident in yourself.
For the most part, the sideline is supposed to get out of the way. They're almost part. I mean, it's the same reason why the ref would need to get out of the way, and if they're not, they're just considered part of the out of bounds.
Yep. Satter keeps it again this time. Baseball slide forward for about 5 yards.
That's a good choice by him, too, because Owen Judd for the Indians was coming roaring to try to stop the running back there. And
yeah, he was looking for a free opportunity to put a hit on Satter, and Satter wisely went with the slide. Pretty sure if I was carrying the football, I'd slide every time before anybody got close to me.
That's why we were not running backs.
Yeah. My pants would be permanently stained from sliding. Second and a long 5. Handoff. No, Satter pulls it again. Satter down the middle of the field. To the 10, the 5, touchdown. David Satter. He's Houdini as he pulled that one back and takes it 42 yards. Now we'll say 37 yards for a touchdown. David Satter here on senior night. It has been an offensive explosion for the Diamondbacks. Is that time? How is that a flag? He hit the ball. No, he waved it off. Okay, I was going to say.
I wasn't sure what they could call because he ran right through the blocker or the holder and the kicker because the ball was there. Like, I don't think he kicked him. At least I saw.
No.
Maybe that's what the ref looked at initially. He thought that maybe he had moved his leg to the side.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can think of because otherwise he's running right through there. I mean, regardless, you rarely see the kicker and the holder both end up flat on their face. And Judd, I mean, he's been there every single kick.
Every time.
And finally he had enough of it and made sure that he blocked one.
Yeah, that time Judd didn't try to avoid contact with the kicker and the holder. He got through and just went right through him, but the ball hit him. I mean, there was nowhere else for the ball to go.
Well, and Judd definitely wears his emotions on his sleeve, and he's been fired up several different times throughout this half, and I believe he was ejected in the Burley Preston game, so he's got some aggression, and has been a great player on both sides of the ball today, but maybe a little bit more aggression on that last play as the game's not really swung their way tonight.
Now down 20 here with 2:50 left in the ball game as he finally gets a block on a field goal or a PAT. He's been there multiple times, and that time finally gets the block. That just a shot through the legs and now takes a bounce, and down goes the return man. That's Blad as he slipped trying to make his cut, went down to the knee, and he'll be down at the 11, I believe.
You know, in these types of games where it's a 20-point lead, rivalry game, Century and Preston, longtime rivals ever since Preston moved up to 4A years ago, you don't want to see any cheap shots thrown here. And I hate to say it, but it's been kind of a chippy little game throughout this, and so hopefully both teams can keep their composure here at the end, and we can get out clean on both sides.
Yeah, just 2:46 left. Judd slings it to Lords. Who else? Lords falls forward for a first down. I feel like Lords, he's got at least 10 receptions, right?
At least, yeah.
He's been the one, Inglet caught the touchdown pass on the last drive, but Lords has been the man in the middle of the field that has caught the passes from Judd.
And that has been a regular this year for the Indians.
Now this time Judd rolling out downfield again. It's short. Did he get his hands underneath it? Yes, he did. Inglet, nice job getting his hands underneath. And that's another first down for the Indians. So the passing game, trying to move them down the field here. Clock rolling again, 2:17 and counting, as the sticks finally get set. Judd across the middle behind the intended receiver. Intended for number 12, that's Caden Larson. And now it's 2nd and 10 for the Indians. The Indians do have all 3 of their timeouts, but just 2:07 left on the clock, and they're down 20. Judd short again, behind Inglet that time. I believe that was who it was going to. There was a deep receiver, but if it was for Lords on the far side, it was well behind Lords. 3rd and 10, kind of the last hoorah here for the Indians. They need a first down here to have any hope. I guess there's always 4th down. And they do get the first down to Winder. And tell you what, Winder's the one guy you want in the open field, as he is tough to bring down all the way down to the 35. First down for the Indians. Horrocks with the tackle. Indians quickly to the line of scrimmage.
Judd being flushed, gets rid of it, caught. That's Lords again. Lords stood up. Winder, the guy pushing him from behind, and Lords still hasn't gone down. Whistles finally blow his progression, stopped. And a minute 33 here, another first down for the Indians. For those of you down around Preston, Westside won 21-6 over Malad. Anybody?
Declo tonight, right?
Was it
Westside,
Declo?
Westside was against Declo.
Sorry, I was thinking they were playing Malad. Let me double check that. I think you're right. As that pass intended out there for Caden Larson. That was a big matchup, big 2A matchup. It was Declo, my mistake. Westside comes away with a 21-6 win. So Westside getting their winning streak going again. As they had what was like a 45-game win streak snapped by Bear Lake in overtime. Judd steps up, can't get away, sacked in the backfield. I think that's the first sack recorded today. A timeout taken by Preston. The man credited with the sack, that's number 52, I believe. Yep, Jackson Gesslin with the sack. With a minute 6 left here, it's going to be 2nd and 13 for the Indians as they've called timeout. They still have 2 left. Check out the Friday Night Flash on IdahoSports.com for all the scores, the final scores coming in from around the state. And we're going to have our IdahoSports.com player of the game coming up, presented by the Idaho Transportation Department. Now I've got a man in mind. We'll talk with Dallin and see what he thinks. So after the timeout, there's a minute 10 left on the clock.
A score update for you. Highland is up 43-42 on Rigby right now.
Wow, that turned quickly. It was 42-28. Winder with a catch in the middle. Winder trying to get something and tries to get to the sideline. He does. I think he gets there. Oh, no, a timeout taken by Preston, so he didn't get out of bounds. Preston takes a timeout. That's an interesting development in the 5As. There's a timeout from the Indians. A good one in Rigby right now. Well, if you're a Highland fan, that is.
Looks like Highland has the ball as well, and they're taking a knee. So that must be it for the Highland Rigby game. That is a huge win for Highland.
This ball game, 29 seconds left. That sound like Brandon Bainey and Sean Kane, a Century coach here at Century High School. He coaches tennis, teaches here as well. But Brandon Bainey saying that's going to send shockwaves through the 5A rankings. Rigby ranked up around the 3-4 range. Back to pass. Judd off his back feet, throws it up in the middle, incomplete. And that's it. A turnover on downs with 57 seconds left. And a couple of knees. And that will be the ball game. So Satter, I think they're going to try to do something here.
Got a big lineman in the backfield with him.
Yes, a very big lineman. They do hand it off to big number 77, and he does get tackled. That may be the biggest running back you see in high school football right there at 71.
That must have been something that Coach Fleischman promised one of his seniors, that he would get a carry in high school football.
That's number 71, Lindsey Carson, or excuse me, Carson Lindsey, my mistake. 6'5", 340-pound ball carrier right there. And Century fired up about it as a timeout taken, the last one, I believe, for the Indians. 44 seconds left in the ball game. You know, and I think before we go, we're going to give away our IdahoSports.com player of the game. And it is the senior here on senior night for the Diamondbacks, the quarterback, number 14, David Satter, our IdahoSports.com player of the game, presented by the Idaho Transportation Department. A phenomenal game by Satter. Satter he's got 2 touchdown runs on the night, plus some other big ones, as he led his team. And 3 touchdown runs, my mistake. He had this one late here. 3 touchdown runs for Satter. As they take a knee on that play, and that will about do it. We'll see if they make them snap it one more time. Satter had a score in the first, a score in the third, and another here in the fourth, as he's led his team to a 1-0 conference record. Wipe away the 6 losses in a row. You're 1-0 in conference, and one more win will secure you a conference championship and a bid, an automatic berth into the playoffs. So the Diamondbacks, hey, it's all about how you come together here in conference play, and one more win for them in conference play, they will be in the playoffs. So congratulations to them. The Indians fall to 1-6 on the season. Congratulations again to David Satter, our IdahoSports.com player of the game, presented by the Idaho Transportation Department. Our final score here, 33-13. We're going to step away for a break. We'll come back with a little wrap-up. And this is Gate City Game Night here on IdahoSports.com. The Century Diamondbacks win 33-13. We'll be right back.
When local matters, Valley Office Systems, your local provider for all things office. Copiers, printers, office furniture, and document management. Proudly serving Idaho since 1974. Valley Office Systems.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
We're a valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
All right, I put this on one check. Is that okay? Draw?
That was fast and secure. It's Mobile Wallet from Lookout Credit Union.
Your home team, when local matters. Valley Office Systems, your local provider for all things office. Copiers, printers, office furniture, and document management. Proudly serving Idaho since 1974. Valley Office Systems.
Well, welcome back here as we're final at Century High School on senior night. The Century Diamondbacks get a conference win. They're 1-0 in conference, 33-13 over the Preston Indians in what was just an offensive outburst for the Diamondbacks. They'd only scored 17 points as their high, and that was last week, and they almost doubled that here tonight, and they would have other than a blocked PAT. And they beat Preston 33-13. Both teams now 1-6. Not the greatest overall records, but if you're a Diamondback fan, what you got to look at is, hey, we're 1-0 in conference. We get a win against Pocatello. We just won the conference in 2 weeks. So that's what you have to look forward to if you're Century. The Indians got to try to get back to winning ways. They got to face off against Pocatello next week. In what's going to be another tough game for them to win. They're not going to be favored in that game by any means. And so, yeah, that's the conference, just a 3-team conference, so a lot can happen there. I want to just go through the scoring summary for you. Satter with a 2-yard touchdown rush with 4:22 left in the first. That gave him the 7-0 lead. Then Judd to Lords on a 15-yard touchdown pass with 1:44 left in the first. That was 7-7. And then no more scoring for the Indians after that. They had multiple opportunities inside the 5, couldn't punch it in, and so that's where they stayed. Silas Wills hit a 30-yard field goal with 5:30 left in the second, made it 10-7. Then right at the end of the second quarter, 38 seconds left, Horton busted free for an 80-yard touchdown run to make it 17-7. Then Satter again with the 3-yard touchdown run, made it 24-7 with 9:29 left in the third. And then in the fourth, Wills tacked on another 38-yard field goal to make it 27-7. And then again Satter with about 2:05 or so left in the ball game, went in from about 5-6 yards out for his third touchdown run of the ball game to make it 33-7. The PAT got blocked that time. And that's our final, 33-13. I'm sorry, I missed a touchdown pass in there from Judd to Inglet in the fourth quarter. With about 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, he did get a touchdown pass to Inglet. I apologize for that. So 2 touchdown passes from Judd to Lords and Judd to Inglet to make it 33-13. Our IdahoSports.com player of the game, it was David Satter for the Century Diamondbacks. Again, 3 touchdown runs, led the team on the night to their highest scoring output of the season. Our IdahoSports.com player of the game, presented by the Idaho Transportation Department. Congratulations to him. This has been an IdahoSports.com GameStream production of Gate City Game Night, presented by Lookout Credit Union, as well as Portneuf Medical Center and Valley Office Systems. Huge thanks to each of them. Valley Office Systems and Rico, your local hometown office solutions, delivering level of service that you expect because above all else, they're a service company. Huge thanks to them. Well, also brought to you in part by our major advertising partners, Project Filter, Valley-Wide Cooperative, the Idaho Transportation Department, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, Next Steps Idaho, and your local Toyota dealers. I want to thank all of our power boosters, Teton Toyota, Teton Volkswagen. Huge thanks to them as a power booster, and a special thanks to the athletic director and everyone else here at Century High School for their hospitality and helping us get this game broadcast to you. And thanks for again to you for joining us as the Diamondbacks beat the Indians by a score of 33-13. For my broadcast partner, Dallin Fryer, and everyone else behind the scenes here at IdahoSports.com, I'm Lauren Jensen saying so long, have a great night, and enjoy your weekend. And stick around on IdahoSports.com. Check out the Friday Night Flash for your updates of all high school football across the entire state of Idaho. And have a great night.
This has been a presentation of IdahoSports.com GameStreams. This broadcast is copyrighted to IdahoSports.com. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the expressed written consent of IdahoSports.com is strictly prohibited.